today we're going to go over how to attack every single site on the map Outback. If you guys are interested, the full video for every single map is over on my main channel, which is Garfield's Dock. Okay, now when attacking upstairs, it is pretty... Dude, did they turn the bird noises up on Outback, by the way? Because, like, this is reworked Outback. And, dude, I've played it once, and all I hear is these freaking birds, bro. Okay, but typically you want to bring, of course, like a primary hard breacher and somebody with either pocket EMPs or somebody that can go below. Your main objective is going to be opening up this main wall, of course. Just watch for anybody trying to rat out the jump out window here. Something I would suggest doing is getting your teammate to spawn over garage side and just placing a claymore for this jump out, or even just starting their round over there. So if you know, you can feel protected, you know. From here, after you open the wall, you or your teammates should, of course, have somebody on the dorm's window just trying to see if you can get a free pick, and you guys should be trying to fight for yellow, or I'm going to show you another way to attack this. So you need to figure out who is on yellow stairs, what type of utility they have, and you and the person that's on the dorm's window can basically collapse on this person just by that person on that window throwing util at this person, pushing them back, forcing them to fight you, or just give up the area. This is a strong pinch point on the map that you need to get. If you're able to get this side of the map, then you guys can feed from the breach and slowly work towards cutting off the people that's laundry. Now, a huge tip I would really suggest, guys, is if you feel comfortable playing vertical play, I'm going to show you how to play vertical play. Going buck would be really solid on this side of the map. And something that people do not do enough on this map is play vert. But vertical is really good when you have your teammates in the right positions. So, for example, if you have your teammate pushing picnic for piano, you can time a swing with the person, and you can just go below and buck underneath the rotate side, the double door, which is right here, of course, and then the chassis, which is usually where people play. You can even, I believe, get the angle on the piano. Hold up, I'm having a poopy brain moment. This is the piano, and you can basically cut all these angles off, and especially for this angle right here, which is the bathroom rotate side, this is super strong. These angles are going to be really good just for pinching out the attackers, and of course, you know, the hatch is here, so hopefully the hatch isn't popped, because that would be pretty stinky if it was. You can also make vert on the people that might be playing in bathroom, which is great. And not bathroom, laundry, my fault. This area is bathroom though. You can basically just make vert all over here, and you can cut off any attackers trying to rotate from the showers area. So if you're really trying to just pinch down two angles, I would suggest making this vertical for the stalls, and then this for the double door, and then this on the piano, because you can control so much here. And what's good about this is if you're playing that, the person that's on yellow, they're going to actually try to come downstairs and attack you. So let's say you went gridlock. You can throw gridlocks on the staircase. You can maybe throw gridlocks in a hotel or a motel, let me call it. And then, you know, in the reptile hallway. And then you can just work this area. This phantom pressure or like direct pressure is going to make defenders go insane, bro. And especially having teammates pushing like the main breach or even on picnic double, there's so many lines of sight that the defenders need to worry about that at some point they're just going to be overwhelmed, and you should easily pick them off. Now, once you're done making vertical, if you're in a even man count, I would suggest going back up yellow with your teammates if you're able to, and just trying to just hold across so they can plant. Now, typically when you plant, a good plant spot, of course, would be either far back or right beside the reinforcement. Typically, when you're planning on this side of the map, though, guys, the plant spot really doesn't matter as much as long as you're not in the bare open, because this site is pretty awkward. But you know, if you're making vert, you could plant in the open and then play vertical if you want. But yeah, if you have somebody, or even if you're one of the people that's good at backstabbing, you could try to take from office over, which is a horizontal take. If you're not into anything that I just said, you'd basically drone a garage, try to clear anybody that's in here. If it's clear, okay. You can even have a pre-play somewhere up in the rafters here, and you can just come from this office supplies wall and slowly just walk up. Especially if you have somebody pushing, you see your teammate pushing a picnic, you can slowly walk up. This wall probably is going to be reinforced because people reinforce it. But for my defensive strat, I was explaining why this really isn't that important. But if you want to go see that, go watch that video. Of course, there's not going to be head holes here, but the person you can basically slowly walk up. And when you're attacking like this, guys, when you're that person that's backstabbing or not going completely direct, meaning you're not, you know, opening the main breach, you're not showing your presence on yellow stairs, you need to have so much patience for your teammates to actually get those steps done. You need to be aware and ask yourself, does my teammates have the main breach open? Are they slowly pushing in? What are they watching? What are they pressuring? And you need to time your push completely based on what your teammates are doing. Whether you're solo queue or 5-stack, if you don't have comms, that's totally understandable. But just go off noise. For example, if thermiting something, you can swing in slowly, and you can usually shoot people in the back because they're not going to be watching these areas. Okay, so attacking party room is pretty simple, but people overcomplicate it a lot. So there's typically two ways that you can try to attack this. One is going for main wall, and if you're going for main wall, you want to make your life easier, unless they have vertical play, you can go below here and just make some freaking vert, man, and then fight the people that's trying to trick the main wall. If you're going to do that, you need one of your teammates to come downstairs, maybe jump in motel area, and just, you know, hold the cross for anybody trying to flank, because, you know, people will try to flank and be annoying. What's really insane about this site as well, guys, is vertical play. It's one of these sites that we just don't see vertical play played enough, honestly. Like, I think vertical play is probably the most underrated form of attack. It's definitely a skill. I feel like that's definitely been lost. But typically an operator will play here. In terms of party, this is more in lobby area or restaurant. So you can also fight them. But if you make vert in restaurant, guys, you're going to be flooded by flankers. I'm trying to find the door. There it is. You can't really make vert on the like, not the rotate, but the, what's it called, where they bandit trick, like the main wall. Over here you have to go back to where I first showed you guys. But basically, yeah, you want to cut off the rotate that they have if you're trying to make vert. You can also cut off the rotate from garage. And honestly, if you're not going for a direct wall take and you just open up the wall and you have teammates pushing party side, this could be super strong as well. But just don't waste your entire round playing vert if that's what you're trying to do. But anyways, so you open up the main breach. You possibly have somebody going bottom garage. And you guys can work towards trying to get garage control. Now, the best way to do that is a lot of information and finding the gap. So, for example, I'm placing a cam here. If I saw nobody was directly in any of these areas, I would make sure nobody's on the staircase, and I would try to get my teammate to jump in one of the windows. Now, at the same time, I'm going to make sure the bottom garage is clear, and I'm going to slowly work up after all the utility here is destroyed. And from here, you need to be in garage. So you have one person on breach, you have the person jumped in the window, and you guys can typically start to try to work inside what's it called, the site. And something that's good is even opening up this side wall just so nobody can play there. And you can also now fight anybody that's party side, bull side. You can have another angle on party. And yeah, the thing about OUTBACK, man, is it usually ends up to be like a 1v1, 2v1, 2v2. So it is it is a hard map to get a execute down on. Now, if you guys aren't a fan of that and you want to go for a games take, something I would suggest doing is setting up for dorms and bottom yellow. So you would have you would drone out all of this stuff, try to get a pre-play somewhere around this area. At the same time, you're gonna have teammates pushing from bottom yellow, droning this in, making sure all of this is clear, and you guys are taking up yellow. At the same time, if you're able to, have somebody positioned outside picnic for anybody rotating, because this area is super common. Now, the thing about this take, and it's not very common, is you need a lot of moving parts on the same idea of what you guys are doing. But basically, you guys are working all the way up to open up this games wall and then the party wall. The thing that makes that difficult is, of course, the side door and the party door. So once again, you would just end up taking all the way up to party hall and then just going behind here and trying to plant. Now, once again, typically what's more common is the main wall take, because universally it's just what people try to do. They try to get garage control, they try to get the main breach control, but those areas are how I would try to take this area. Now, of course, I'm speaking very vague because the thing about Siege, man, is like anything could happen in a round. Like, you can't predict exactly every single thing that defenders or attackers are going to do, or who's going to die or whatnot. So I'm trying to just give you guys basic outline on how to attack and what spaces you need. Okay, now attacking on green/red bedroom, there's all sorts of different ways that people can defend downstairs, but the example I showed is typically how I would defend. And basically this is just for the extension of placing a mirror on reptile, placing a mirror right here, and then having castles on the window, the double door here, and then the reptile side castles, like putting a castle here, putting a castle here, and then having this reinforced. So you'll see alternative strats to this. If a team is completely just reinforcing this off, then what your main objective should be going for is getting vertical play and just opening this main wall. So depending if they have a castle, you need to try to deal with that. So maybe have somebody playing on the window, or it really depends if the castle is placed here or not. If it's not, you just need to have somebody. You need to wait for the people that's going above, and they need to basically play vertical, because what they can do is they can not only watch the person that's trying to swing, but they can also pop the hatch. They can make what did I just explode? Fire extinguisher. They can make vert on it, so nobody is going to be able to swing. So if that is a thing, the double door, the castle, just wait for the people that's making vert. And one way that you can help them is, one, if you're thermite, you can open up the main wall for them upstairs, the dorms wall, and you can just drone them out. You can have a pre-play somewhere around here and just get them control all the way up into piano and picnic. Because if you have one person maybe take picnic side, maybe like a gridlock, nomad, something like that for flank, you guys take this space, you guys nomad, gridlock off shark, whatever, or bull, I mean, or even roar. Like if you guys roar off the door, roar off the double, like you guys can get really silly. And from here, you guys can make vertical on literally everything besides the bathroom, which is very beneficial as an attacker, because you can get every prominent angle that you need for this site besides reptile. Reptile has very minimal vert, or vert. So just keep that in mind. But you can literally make vert on every part of this site that people are going to try to tuck. So once again, you make vert on yellow for the swing. You can If somebody's swinging the side door, you can cut them off. If somebody's deep on the A chassis playing like a silly goose, you can cut them off. If they're on the bathroom door, you can cut them off. It's just you can't really get vert on the bathroom, which doesn't matter. I'm not gonna lie, it really doesn't right now. So you're basically, with vertical play and opening that main breach, you're basically pushing all the defenders back. So let's say that they do have that mirror here and here. You can't really get rid of the reptile mirror unless you have an ash charge or, you know, some luck on your hands that the enemies are stupid and they punch it themselves. But you don't need to worry about this, because if you bring somebody on the vertical play and the guys are swinging that, you can frag them off. But your goal would be just to open up this wall right here, run in, and literally plant. Literally plant. And then from here, based off of that plant, you can have vertical play right above. You can have somebody playing the staircase. You can play so many counter angles that make it unlosable. As you can tell, like, so easy. But typically where people get choked up is just getting inside the building quick enough, man. Like, they get too overwhelmed. If you think about it, like, as an attacker, you just got to take parts of the map, and you don't need to control the entire map. You just need to control areas. That's the main objective. Okay, attacking the worst site on this map is... I actually think that this site might be the worst rank site to play in the entire map. Like, hands down. And the reason why is because it is just such a weird site to defend. But typically, what people do is, when they're attacking this, just imagine this kitchen wall was reinforced. I was trying to think of strats to defend this, but honestly, it's just a horrific site. But if you get a pre-placed reptile side and you make sure nobody runs like reptile hull, or they take bottom yellow, or they walk in green, you can take this area pretty quickly, and you can have somebody trying to take up here in motel reception, have somebody outside this window for the swing, and basically you guys can play refrag, watching anybody trying to swing. And your guys' main objective would be, of course, opening up this kitchen wall. So let's say I'm Thermite. I open the kitchen wall. At this point, what you guys need to do is make sure that you get this reptile hallway control, just for anybody trying to retake the hallway and trying to C4 or anything. Because since there's no angle here on this little window, the only way that they're going to be able to do anything is by C4ing over this and exposing themselves in this door. So what you could do is bring a... if this is not reinforced, bring a shotgun or whatever and just open up that line of sight, and you can cut off this rotate. You can cut off this door here. So if they just push in, you can just easily frag them off. And you can go for a plant if they're not playing vertical. Now, guys, if they're playing vertical, which is going to be pretty typical on this map, we actually need to do one more step. Can we imagine what the step is, guys? Yep, it's trying to clear them. The good thing is, the vertical for the kitchen, guess where it is? Right in front of the bowl window. So, you just open the bowl window. If they're playing like this far angle, you can try to take games, possibly, and literally just get them off the angle. Like, fight them, buck them, whatever. It's not going to be that easy, of course, but like, you're not going to see enemies going this site that much, man. Like, you're really not. It's a bad site.